is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. It's so great to have you with us. Topping news, the nation's leader, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, joining Health Minister Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands on a tour of the Rand Memorial Hospital to assess the damage caused by a fire at the island's premier healthcare facility on Friday. The blaze erupted in the kitchen, forcing the evacuation of dozens of patients. During a press briefing held at the hospital, the health minister outlined the extent of the damage and plans to effect immediate repairs. Talia Hall reports.
Officials have confirmed that a deep fryer in the kitchen at the hospital caught a fire. The kitchen staff tried to put out the blaze but were unsuccessful. The police fire branch was called in, and firefighters were able to contain the blaze in a short period of time. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands, along with other officials, were able to assess the damage. He says staff members and patients had to be evacuated because of the amount of smoke in the hospital.
Non-acute or more stable patients were transferred to Christ the King from the surgical, medical, obstetric, and pediatric areas. Intensive care patients and special care baby unit patients were transferred to the Sunrise Medical Center, where they are continuing to be managed by Rand Memorial Hospital staff. 2 acutely ill patients who were previously scheduled for transfer to Nassau have also been sent to the Sunrise Medical Center, where they continue to await evacuation tonight.
The health minister confirming that there were no injuries or casualties as a result of the fire or the evacuation process. He says the cleanup process at the hospital is already underway.
There were 3 staff members who suffered mild smoke inhalation problems and have been treated. One of those remains in hospital.
Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Herbert Brown, is relieved that the disaster plan put in place was executed well by the staff of the Grand Bahama Health Services.
We are very, very pleased that when I looked at the disaster plan and see how it was executed, it was executed with excellence.
Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis joined the press briefing. He says he was in Abaco and thought it was essential to make a stop in Freeport to check out the situation and to lend his support.
I want Grand Bahama to be assured that regardless to the cost, we will have the RAN and the health facilities back on its feet in very, very short order. And I'm certain that the remainder of the Bahamas understands that in disasters or emergencies like this, monies must be diverted.
Following the briefing, the Prime Minister and his delegation were taken on a tour of the damaged kitchen. They also visited the patients who had to be relocated. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Talia Hall.
The Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, also speaking at that press briefing on Friday. Turnquest says he's pleased with the level of professionalism displayed by the various agencies that sprung into action during the ordeal.
They performed admirably, and certainly I'm very proud and thank them for their efforts. The other thing I want to say is to the community who has offered assistance. Both in terms of food and most particularly offered to house patients. We want to thank them for making themselves available. NEMA had initially been notified and were on standby in case they were needed. We've since asked them to stand down. As I said, we believe that we have the situation under control.
Now, since the fire at the Rand Memorial Hospital on Friday, medical professionals have been in overdrive, attempting to create a sense of normalcy at the facility. The Minister of Health traveled to Grand Bahama once again on Sunday afternoon to give an update on the services. The Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, holding a press conference Sunday, along with top executives of the Rand Memorial Hospital. The minister announcing good news, that all of the patients have either been released from the Foster B. Pestina Center or returned to the Rand Memorial Hospital. He also confirmed reports that most of the fire damage was limited to the kitchen, but that other areas were affected by smoke.
Other areas were significantly impacted by smoke, and they include the medical, surgical, obstetric and pediatric wards, the cafeteria, and the intensive care unit. Cleanup of these areas will be substantively completed today. Plans are now at an advanced stage to restore the kitchen so as to meet the on-site dietary needs of our patients and staff.
Since Friday, those dietary needs have been outsourced. Minister Sands says that discussions are underway to determine the comparative cost of outsourcing the services of the kitchen, considering that the new state-of-the-art kitchen and cafeteria is well on its way.
So as we determine the amount of electrical and structural repairs required for the kitchen, it becomes very important to compare that potential investment to what it would cost to continue outsourcing food preparation and cooking elsewhere. Once we define the options, bear in mind that from Friday evening, our patients and staff had to continue to eat. And so in the first instance, it was those individuals who offered us use of their facilities. Whether we're minded to continue that is something that a specific decision will have to be made. But clearly, this is not a situation where the usual tendering process will take place.
Minister Sands thanked the public for their patience during this time, and the minister also commended the staff and personnel for swift action during the situation. This announcement in from the Grand Bahama Health Services. The Grand Bahama Health Services specialty clinics at the Paris Plaza, the specialty clinics at the Outpatient Department, Ram Memorial Hospital, and the 8 Mile Rock Community Clinic resumed operations this morning on schedule. The Accident and Emergency Department is open to accommodate emergencies only, and the visiting hours at the Ram Memorial Hospital remain in effect, but with some restrictions. Assigned staff is providing guidance during these periods. The full cooperation of the public is appreciated. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.